new moons and full moons describe a release mechanism of sorts happening in our consciousness. But let's break down why this one goes so deep. So there's 4 characteristics I'm going to focus on. There's a lot we could go into, but let's look at 4 pieces of what's happening with this new moon partial solar eclipse on October 25th, 2022. First thing to know, it's happening in the sign of Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and the 8th house, and it's all about our capacity to go to the very, very depths of who we are and fully transform what needs to be transformed. Working with Scorpio or Pluto or 8th house energy can be challenging because it goes deep. It's about the places that need to die being let go in order for the next level of growth to occur. And sometimes this is a challenging process, but this is the power of Pluto, of Scorpio, of the 8th house. And what's happening with this new moon is it's happening right in this realm of very deep, down to the core, down to the bone level transformation. Number 2, this new moon is happening in a perfect conjunction with the planet Venus. Now, Venus represents our heart center, our ability to give and receive love and to open to receiving more. It also represents money, being able to receive, being able to allow more and hold more in and receive the abundance of all of who we are and all that we're here to experience. So this new moon happening in conjunction with Venus is like the deepest possible invitation to release what is no longer serving you, which might include some things needing to go. And you may have already experienced that. It's about releasing what's no longer serving you so that a deeper heart opening has the capacity to take place so that you can fully open to the depths of the love that you are, of all that you're here to be. Third thing about this full moon, this new moon, it creates an angle called the inconjunct with Jupiter. The inconjunct is a really fascinating angle to work with because it represents some kind of a fork in the road or a new choice point. It's as if you're being not just asked, but required to make a new choice in some way that up till this point in your journey, you probably haven't actually had the capacity to make. But it's as if the universe is saying, okay, in this moment now, it's time to make that deeper step, that next level opening, whatever that looks like for you. And I'll just mention right here that if there's something coming to your mind as I say all of this, this has probably already been happening over the past week or 2, give or take. We feel the energy of new moons building before they happen. And if there are places that you are being very strongly asked to let go of an old belief, an old way of being, an old relationship, an old connection or situation or something that's no longer a fit, whatever you are being deeply, deeply guided and called to release what's no longer a fit so you can create the opening for the fullness of all that you're here to do and to be able to accept, believe, receive, and experience all of the goodness that you're here for. That's what this new moon is inviting, asking, and requiring. Fourth point, and lastly, in the backdrop of this is a square happening between Mars and Neptune. Mars is the planet of action, drive, desire, ambition, moving forward. And right now, Mars is in Gemini, which is a very wordy, mental, intellectual experience of our energy wanting to move and wanting to go. There may be a lot of energy in the head, by the way, even possibly headaches or just a sense of so much going on in the head. And there is so much energy that is wanting to move in the mental realms right now as an important piece of this. But here's what's up. Right now, that Mars placed in Gemini is holding a square with Neptune. Neptune represents our connection to spirit, that place of all is one, divine love, knowing we're connected to source, to God, goddess, to all that is. Neptune on the shadow side also represents falling into delusions or lack of clarity, or even addictions or addictive processes. These are a part of Neptune too. And when Neptune and Mars are in a square, there's a challenging energy there as far as what is even going on right now, particularly in regards to moving forward with what's true for you, what's right for you. So if there is fog, if there's confusion present, I want you to understand and give yourself some grace that there's this square happening between Mars and Gemini. Mars wants to go forward powerfully, fast, and right now in Gemini, in a very intellectual, mental, planning, logistical way. But it's in a challenging geometry with that side of us that is connected to everything, but also when challenged can fall into possibly addictive or tendencies to hide, to dissociate, to disconnect from reality. That's part of the shadow side of Neptune. So a square invites us to step up our game, basically. It's a challenging geometry, but it's like, okay, we've got this thing happening and we've got this thing happening. Given all of that, how do you show up at the highest level of you, meeting and holding all of this challenging energy, knowing that you do have the capacity to cut through any fog, to cut through any lack of clarity, and allowing this new moon to be a release mechanism into what needs to become clear, into your new path forward that is calling that next higher level of you to come forth, but is definitely going to require whatever's in the way of that to be dropped at the way, to be left along the road, to be let go so that you can move forward. Now, how exactly this eclipse hits you and how intensely is going to be described by your own natal chart, but for everyone, it's a reset point. Think reboot of the computer in a huge way. And this is really good news if you're on a transformational spiritual path, and if you're watching this, that's probably you, because it's like all of the learning and whatever challenges and whatever fog and confusion may have been going on, especially the past couple of weeks, all of the deep lessons that have been happening for you have the opportunity to be integrated, to be embodied, to be turned on and come online in your lived experience in a new way. It's like a bridge into a next phase. So if there's a big upgrade that you're sensing is needed for you, this eclipse new moon can be that bridge if you choose. And again, whatever you felt that's coming up and ready to be released is what's asking to be released for this to happen. If you'd like to go deeper, link to work with me privately is in the notes. Please like and follow my channel for updates and to learn how to break down and fluently read the story of your own natal chart. Take good care. See you soon.